The night I told my girlfriend I loved her, she cried really hard. She said she saw the future and needed me to promise her certain things. When I asked why, she just shook her head. I can't remember. All I know is that I am going to regret something really bad. Frank, no matter what happens, you have to give me 3 chances, will you? I was head over heels for Agnes Gray, so I said yes right away. But later, it was like she'd forgotten that whole night, especially when she was all over her male assistant. That is when I got it. That is why she made me promise all those years ago. Because the second I was about to sign the divorce papers, I heard a voice. I knew it was Agnes at 19, crying. She begged, Frank, you promised. Remember? You said you'd give me 3 chances. Frank, I know this is hard for you, but what Agnes and I have is real. I hope you can let her be happy. The text lit up my phone. It was from Nicholas Morgan, Agnes's assistant. Along with that message came videos and photos, making out under the famous Tower of Love, whispering sweet things at one of the world's biggest museums, naked on some tropical beach, even getting it on against a floor-to-ceiling window. Right then, I knew Agnes was not the woman I fell in love with anymore. We met when we had nothing. I worked myself to the bone for her acting career, throwing every dollar into her shows and running around for her film crews. For 7 years straight, I worked so hard I'd fall asleep on the subway home. I drank so much at business dinners that my stomach started bleeding. Little by little, I built a company from scratch. And during those same 7 years, Agnes became famous. Everyone knew her name. Everything we dreamed of doing together, she decided to share it all with her assistant instead. I didn't think twice. I drew up the divorce papers. Just as I was about to sign, I heard a voice right next to me. Frank, don't. You promised me. Remember? You said you'd give me 3 chances. That familiar voice hit me like a bolt of lightning. My whole body shook. I turned around, and there she was, Agnes at 19, looking delicate and beautiful, wearing that $30 dress I bought her with money from my part-time job. In that dress, she'd always been the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I just stared at her. Then I actually laughed. All right, chances. Right then, my phone rang again. Frank, how many times do I have to tell you? Stop giving Nicholas a hard time. He is just my assistant. He is exhausted every day, running around with me everywhere. If you keep this up, forget about that beach trip I promised you. I put it on speaker. Her angry voice filled the room. I looked at 19-year-old Agnes and smiled. Anger flashed across her young face. How can she talk to you like that? How dare she? 19-year-old Agnes was shaking with anger, but 27-year-old Agnes was ice cold. Frank, looks like you've got some guts now, keeping another woman around. Get to Marlin Tower. You've got half an hour. If you are not here, she hung up. I said quietly, that is the first chance, Agnes. I wasn't even sure if I was talking to the 19-year-old in front of me or to myself. By the time I drove to Marlin Tower, 40 minutes had gone by. The area around Marlin Tower was packed with people, traffic jammed everywhere. When I got to Agnes's top floor office and barely opened the door, she snapped, Frank, I warned you. You had 30 minutes to get here, and now, I cut her off, turned around, and flopped onto the couch like I didn't care. Nicholas was there too. He kept his head down, eyes all red, his right hand holding his left wrist. My attitude seemed to set Agnes off. She slammed her hand on the desk. Frank, what is with that attitude? You still won't admit you were wrong? But before I could say anything, Nicholas jumped in. Agnes, it is nothing really. Just a watch. Don't blame Frank. That just made Agnes angrier. But instead of yelling at him, she held back and softened her voice. How can you say it is nothing? He is so petty. He even tried to steal the birthday gift he gave you. Don't worry. I am not taking his side. Then she turned back to me, her voice sharp as a knife. Frank, I am giving you one last chance. Give Nicholas his watch back. I'd lost count of how many times this had happened. No matter how many times Nicholas set me up, no matter what I said, it never mattered. The woman who used to trust me completely now only doubted me. I couldn't be bothered to argue. I stood up, took off the old watch from my wrist, and tossed it on the floor at Nicholas's feet. That one move broke both versions of Agnes, the 19-year-old and the 27-year-old. The 19-year-old started crying. Frank, please don't do this. But the 27-year-old's eyes went red with rage. Frank, you think I am gonna put up with this? The watch on the floor was the only one I'd ever owned. Back then, she'd gotten her first role, just a small part, but she was over the moon. For days after filming Wrapped, she used her tiny paycheck to buy me this watch. It cost maybe $200. From that day on, I never wore another watch. I still remember when she put it in my hand, holding me tight, her eyes shining, like she felt guilty. Her voice shook. Frank, this is all I can afford right now. But someday, when I am making real money, I'll buy you the watch you really want. And she did buy that watch eventually, but it wasn't for me. It was for Nicholas. There was no point in talking. I headed for the door. 27-year-old Agnes was so mad she could barely speak, but Nicholas was quick to calm her down. Agnes, relax. If the watch you gave me really means that much to Frank, then it is my fault. Makes sense he'd send someone to take it. Don't blame him. I don't mind. His voice got quieter, sadder. After all, I've never had anyone celebrate my birthday with me since I was little. Having you with me this year is already more than enough. The gift doesn't matter. His words slowly calmed Agnes down. She tried to look calm and offered me a compromise. Frank, give Nicholas his watch back. I'll buy you a better one. I promise. I don't want it. I pointed at the one on the floor. Not that one, and not any you'd ever buy me. I said what I needed to say and walked out. But before I could get to the elevator, 19-year-old Agnes rushed over and grabbed my arm. Frank, please don't. Let's get that watch back, okay? I gave it to you. Her eyes watered, but her voice was careful, like she was scared I'd be mad. Looking at her fresh, makeup-free face, my heart softened. Fine, but this counts as the second chance. You sure you want to use it now? She nodded hard, no hesitation. I ruffled her hair, then turned back and walked toward the office again. But when I pushed the door open, what I saw made 19-year-old Agnes lose it. Nicholas was holding Agnes in his arms, whispering in her ear. The second they saw me, they jumped apart. Frank, when did you become so rude? Don't you know you should knock before walking into someone's office? I gave her a cold look and walked straight toward them, bending down. But Nicholas sneakily stepped on the watch strap, pinning it to the floor. I had no choice but to stand back up. He looked down, his voice all humble. Frank, I was just trying to comfort Agnes. She was so upset. Please don't be mad. Hearing his fake humility angry, Agnes couldn't hold back. Look at yourself, Frank. Look at how you act. Nicholas is so thoughtful, and you keep giving him a hard time over and over. Apologize to him. I ignored her, staring at Nicholas, trying to keep my anger in check. Move, but he acted like he didn't hear me. Frank, I really didn't mean anything by it. Then Agnes grabbed my chin hard. Apologize to Nicholas. I stared at her angry face, then glanced at the 19-year-old standing nearby. She was frozen, tears running down her face. Seeing that made my anger disappear. I looked at her with so much tenderness and said, I am sorry. Oh, Frank, you don't have to apologize, really. Nicholas backed away, but I caught the little smile on his face. I didn't care what Agnes said anymore. I bent down, picked up the beat-up watch, and left. On my way out of Marlin Tower, 19-year-old Agnes sobbed and kept apologizing to me. I patted her head gently. It is okay, Agnes. You didn't do anything wrong. Looking at her sweet face, I asked, do you know what tomorrow is? She blinked at me, confused, then looked at the car's clock. Suddenly, her cheeks turned pink, and her eyes lit up with excitement. It is the day you are going to propose to me. Yeah, 6 years ago, on our 1-year anniversary, I made her a promise. No matter if I was broke or not, on Valentine's Day 6 years later, I'd propose by the ocean. Good girl. So tomorrow you'll come with me, right? I said it softly. Her eyes sparkled like stars locked on mine. Finally, like she was working up her courage, she whispered, Frank, do you know why I could see the future when you told me you loved me? I made a wish on a shooting star that I could see the future, but I wouldn't remember any of it. Not until midnight tomorrow, when I'll remember everything I saw. 19-year-old Agnes shed another tear. So tomorrow night, she'll regret it. Neither of us expected that 27-year-old Agnes would actually show up at the beach. She came, but not to keep our promise. Frank, you actually followed me here? Are you stalking me? You are pathetic. The beach we picked for my proposal was now covered in roses, with fireworks set up behind them. And in the middle of all those flowers stood 27-year-old Agnes. Even when she saw me, she didn't let go of Nicholas's hand. Your 3 chances are over, Agnes. I said it quietly. While beside me, 19-year-old Agnes grabbed my arm in despair. Frank, please don't. Maybe she set this up for you. Let's go see, okay? Her voice was shaking, almost begging, but 27-year-old Agnes's voice was ice cold. Frank, get over here! I turned my head, gave the younger her a gentle look, then walked over. The second I did, the older her went off. Frank, what more do you want? You stole Nicholas's watch, and I let it go. Now I set up a fireworks show by the ocean to make it up to him. You want to ruin that too? I shrugged. Not at all. I just came to watch the fireworks. If you don't mind, bring me 2 chairs. My casual attitude left her speechless for a second. After that, I ignored her, led the crying 19-year-old to the side, and sat down with her. I tried to comfort her, but she wouldn't stop crying. Seeing I wasn't going to make a scene, 27-year-old Agnes relaxed. She even hung all over Nicholas right in front of me, whispering sweet things. I felt nothing. I just held the younger Agnes's cold little hand tighter. Time passed into the middle of the night. As Valentine's Day was ending, the fireworks lit up the sky. Under all that light, I pulled out the ring I'd been carrying for years. I got down on one knee and whispered to the 19-year-old in front of me, Agnes, will you marry me? She covered her mouth. Snowflakes were falling. You'd still marry me? Of course. I'll always love the version of you standing in front of me right now. I looked into her eyes with complete honesty, the starlight in them, my forever. I don't know how long it took, but she finally nodded hard and held out her left hand. Frank, I will. Smiling, my heart full of happiness, I gently took her hand. Just as I was about to put the ring on her finger, the clock struck midnight. 19-year-old Agnes dissolved into countless specks of starlight and disappeared completely. Suddenly, I couldn't hold back my tears anymore. Goodbye, my dearest Agnes. Right then, Nicholas's voice cut through from behind me. Agnes, Frank looks so pathetic kneeling there all alone. Who is he even proposing to? I am so much happier with you by my side. I turned to see Nicholas had brought Agnes to stand behind me at some point. From where she couldn't see, his face was twisted with a nasty grin, but Agnes herself was crying, tears streaming down her face.